All right. Try to hotbox myself here. It's actually warm here in Illinois, about 62. We did it. All the ups and downs, the lows, the fucking struggle, the prep, the bullshit. First show, locked in, men's overall bodybuilding champion. Still had to go to work on Monday though. So reality's back. But definitely riding that high of the Mid-Illinois overall bodybuilding winner. Man, fun experience. My coach came in for it. There's a YouTube CDC before. She was in for it. She was helping me lock in, helping me dry out, making sure manipulating salt, the day before, the day of, pulling the salt, adding it back in at night, adding it back in the morning. Kept me dry, looked hard, stomach flat, good, had food in me a little bit, before the show. So having her there, night and day difference. I just felt like we brought, regardless of placing, I was just like, man, we brought the best package I could possibly bring to that stage. Unfortunately, there wasn't a ton of competitors. I think there was 6 bodybuilders total, but I did beat all of them. Can't control that. I could just control, how I look on stage. So needed that win, make this kind of seem all worth it, And I came into this not really caring how I placed, just wanted to do it, but placing first and novice, right? Because I did novice, because I haven't been on stage in 14 years. I did open, and then I, competed for the overall versus the heavyweight guy. So felt good to get that win. Had my family there cheering me on. My coach was in town, obviously. A couple good buddies, Cam, Jacob, Tim Bry, showed up. My buddy Charlie was there. Just people showed up when it counted. That's, huge. It's awesome. Awesome to see that, good friends show up when they say they're going to show up. So, won the show. Before the show, I was teetering on doing the Chicago, Illinois NPC state show, just because I'm just like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it to the Mid-Illinois one. Let me just get to this show, and then I'll reevaluate come Monday. And then that day, I'm like, yeah, Chicago's happening. So, obviously, you saw in the last video, I enjoyed the weekend. Weights up quite a bit. It was 197 last night before I went to bed. I was not expecting that much. It's just water retention. Yeah, I had more food, and I could have went harder, and I didn't. But definitely up some pounds, especially being 176 morning of the show. But, that was also in a very dehydrated state. So I'll get back into the 180s, I'd imagine, maybe even by tomorrow morning. And then back into the low 180s probably by this weekend. I'm going to keep it at a deficit. Talked to my coach this morning. Be in a deficit. No carb ups for a little bit until the weight's under control. But I have the energy from the food this weekend for sure, and just the high of winning, right? And just carrying that momentum into these next 4 weeks will make it, I'm not going to say easy, but definitely more manageable, right? Just because these last 4 weeks into this show, just, man, some low lows, just real tough to get going and keep motivated. So this should help push me into that next show. So next show, May 10th. Probably butcher this again. Copernicus Center, Lawrence Avenue in Chicago. So that'll be the next one. And they don't tell you, who's going to show up, or you don't know. I'm just told that this show has more bodybuilders. Like it's a bigger show. And then if you look at the results from the year before, it looks like that too. So excited to have some more competition. Good thing I paid for a crossover into novice, because I can't use that now because I won the overall, so it wouldn't really be fair, and you're not allowed to do that. So it would just be doing the men's, I would imagine, open light heavyweight, maybe middleweight, kind of depends. NPC, the classes change depending on the number of bodybuilders they have. So if it's a certain amount, it's 3, and then I'll fit into the light heavies. If it's 4 or 5 classes of weights, I might be a middleweight depending on the number of bodybuilders. So I'd imagine I'd be in that upper 170 range again for the show. Maybe I'll be a couple pounds lighter. Not too sure. Just I want to bring, a tighter look. If we could come in a little fuller, maybe, but there's some tightness that needs to happen for sure. I need to really lock in like my hamstrings and my glutes. That's one thing I felt was a little soft, and that could have just been more of my just more practice on the posing and bringing out what's already there. But real happy with how I looked on stage. Just I felt like I was really dialed in, but yeah, definitely riding that high into this next show and into this week of work and getting back to it. Just, like I said, back to work today. Off work now. I'm going to hit the gym, train some upper, do a little cardio, training clients all night. Started meal prepping already. So just, a lot of people, whether it's not not necessarily a bodybuilding show, but they have an event, they have something going on the weekend, and then come Monday morning, they just stay off the wagon, right? They just fall off, and they just, I don't want to prep. I'm tired. It's 7 o'clock on a Sunday. Last night, 7 o'clock, I'm putting chicken and vegetables and rice in the containers, getting ready for the week. So, you got to just shift your mindset and really lock the fuck back in. And that's what I'm doing. Makes it easier with the goal for sure, but yeah, it's a pretty good feeling. And just knowing that, I looked the best I possibly could look that day, regardless of placing. But that overall victory is just a lot sweeter. So, about 27 days out, gonna go get some training in now. Yeah, thanks for watching the journey. I try to be as raw and as honest as I can be here. Just some days, or weeks, didn't want to be me. Didn't want to get up. Didn't feet dragging. That's part of bodybuilding. If you're watching this and you're doing a show and you're like, man, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to work out. I don't want to make it to the show. Like, check. Was there. Might be there again in the next 4 weeks, but definitely was there. And it's just, show day makes it all worth it. Doesn't seem like it, but when you're in the lows and you're not feeling it, but it definitely makes it work and getting on stage, showing off what you've put in weeks, months, 16, 20-week preps, showing that, bringing it to stage, having everything happen, just fall into place. Didn't happen by accident, right? It's because you put in the work. It's, stand next to one of the competitors, drying off the tan, getting in front of the fans after you got the tan, you have to dry off in a room, which usually a couple other guys in there. And I'm asking him, hey man, how'd your prep go? Blah, blah. He goes, oh, it was fun. I'm like, what? Fun? Yeah. First one you've ever done? He goes, yeah. Okay. I'm like, the last thing that I would describe my prep as fun. And I'm like, I didn't want to be rude or a dick, but I'm like, if you had fun during this prep and it was a good time, any prep, probably aren't lean enough. When you get lean enough, things aren't very fun anymore. People annoy you quicker. Everything sucks. Your feet are heavy. It's not fun. So just like hearing him say that, like, oh, it's fun. Yeah, I'll probably do it again in November. Like, yeah, try to stay lean and do it again. I'm like, okay, yeah, good luck. Like, I wouldn't describe the prep as fun. The day of is fun. The day before is fun. Seeing the progress. Meeting with my coach, tweaking some poses, things coming back out, like posing wise. Oh, that looks way better. That kind of shit. That's fun. Eating good food afterwards, fun. Show day's fun. Prep, not so much. So if you're prepping and you're feeling the lowness and you're feeling like I can't do this anymore, this is too much, like, probably right where you need to be, in my experience. So I'm gonna go train. 27 days out. Lock back the fuck in. Let's go.